Louis Armstrong was the baddest trumpet player that the country and the world ever produced. Not only a fabulous trumpet player, but a composer, all-around musician, as you know, vocalist also. I didn't particularly care for his mannerisms. You know, a young man growing up, you know. But I knew the artistry of this man was just superior. And then along came a man by the name of Miles Davis. Miles Davis came out of St. Louis, East St. Louis, and tall and dark-skinned and black and always clean. And Louis Armstrong was clean too, don't get me wrong. But Miles a little bit closer to my generation. I was still in my teens. But he played that trumpet in a way that the women gravitated towards Miles Davis like he was a free shoe store. So I wanted to play me some trumpet. So I went to the middle school I was going to at the time, and this Italian band leader said, "Can I take trumpet lessons?" And I was 6'1", 131 pounds, like a walking skeleton. And the guy said, "No, you don't have enough wind in you." And so I said, "Well, welcome to racism, you know, middle school." But on the way home, I passed, you know, the poor man's bank, which, you know, of course, as you know, is a pawn shop. And in the pawn shop had all these trumpets and flugelhorns. So I went into this pawn shop, and actually, it's a Jewish proprietor, white. What is the cheapest horn? He said $33. Well, $33 at that time was like $300, $400 a day. And I said, wow, I can't deal with that $33. But he saw the determination in my eyes, and he said, well, what I'll do is I'll let you have that trumpet for $3 down and $1 a week. And for that $1 a week, I'll teach you how to play the trumpet. You know, welcome to credit and welcome to a person outside of our culture seeing a young man needing some support. And I did. I ran home, robbed my bank, came back with $3, and started taking lessons that very day. And that was during the summer. And I came back to the middle school I was going to at that time and became first trumpet. So art, in terms of music, in terms of literature, and then just briefly visual art came into my life later on. I'm actually the co-chair of the National Conference of Artists now, which is the largest body of organized black visual artists in the country. And if you come to Third World Press, it's laid out with art. If you come to my home, it's art, visual art all over. So those three have, for the most part, allowed me to become, most certain in terms of art, the man I am today. Now I say that people without art in their lives are vacant. That what art does, it humanizes us, it widens our scope, and it makes a connection to other cultures that very, very seldom you can make that connection. I mean, you can actually connect to other cultures through the art before you even learn the languages, all right? And musicians do this all the time, okay, as well as visual artists. And so art is important, and I always say that I can go to your home without even knowing you and tell you exactly where you are culturally. Because as I walk in, of course, the first thing I always see is the clean, all right? And then I'm gonna look on the walls and see what kind of images reflect you and your family. Then I go to your bookcase and see what you're reading, if you have a bookcase. And then I'll go into your CD collection, see what kind of music you listen to. Is it great black music that greeted us as we walked into the BLOCKSON Center? Or is it booty call music, okay? And then I'll go to your DVD collection, see what you're looking at, and especially the DVDs wrapped up in the brown paper bags, you know, stuff like that. Then you go to the children's room, and then what you see on their walls, Darth Vader, Mickey Mouse, and Donald Duck. And you wonder how we're confused and why we don't love ourselves. And that is the critical problem in black America. Most black people today do not love themselves.
Amen.
That's why you see, you know, walking around with blonde hair and you know, Negroes with pants down below the crack of their behinds and stuff like that. There's no love there.
That's right.